the whole thing wobbin', wobbin', wobbin'. When I come around, got the whole thing wobbin'.
What's going on, guys? It's Zirksee coming at you today with another YouTube video, and today we have got some gridiron notes on the Madden 22 dynamic game day stuff, which you guys have heard a little bit about, and also just in general, some gameplay news and some really important news that I know you guys want to know about is like the momentum, is the home factor advantages, are those actually in MUT? Well, we finally know. Now, I do want to give a shout out to Soupy the Gamer for being a part of the Noti Gang. If you guys want a chance to be shouted out in the next video, drop a like in the vid, make sure you guys are subbed to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and comment down below, Noti Gang. But let's get right into it. As you guys can see right here, Dynamic Game Day is only for the next-gen consoles. So if you guys have, the next-gen Xbox, next-gen PS5, that is when you will actually see some of the stuff there with the Dynamic Game Day, which of course is Game Day Momentum, Game Day Atmosphere, and then the next gen stats. So let's get right into it. As you guys can see with the Game Day Momentum. With Game Day Momentum, you will feel the highs and lows of the momentum swings in each game and feel the pressure of Game Day with the all new momentum meter and its perks known as M factors. As any football fan can tell you, feeling momentum build in an NFL game is a very real thing, and the momentum meter visualizes these momentum swings for gamers, which are all driven completely by the action of the field. Now, without going into all of this, I can pretty much tell you right now exactly how it is going to be working. So with the touchdowns, with interceptions, with sacks, stuff like that, picking up first downs, getting big chunk yards on big plays, that is kind of how you move the momentum meter. And of course, different teams have got different things. So you guys can see right here, it actually does say something right here. For example, a kicker always kicked in the iced state. That is one thing that a specific team does have. Receivers missing their receiver icons or making hot routes more difficult to perform. You guys can see right here, it does say the flow of the meter is driven purely by the action on the field, where big plays like touchdowns, turnovers, and sacks will grab more momentum than smaller plays. Because we have different ways to play, the meter used in tournaments, online ranked head-to-head, and some ultimate team modes will be tuned differently than the base way to play. So that skillful user play will be far more important in swinging momentum than play outcomes. Now you can see right here, when the factors are unlocked, they will light up, and you'll also see them in Coach Cam. So you can see right here, there is nerves activated, so each team has got at least two things, but usually the home field team does have three. As I said, I'll get into what's going to be happening with MUT here, but when you're playing like a play now mode or when you're playing franchise, guys, yes, the home team does have an advantage. They tend to have one more thing in the middle that they instantly start the game with. Of course, you can deactivate that if you just swing the momentum on your side, but then you both have got two very similar things. So rattled O-line and nerves, that's for the Lions and the Packers in this game, but only the Lions, because they are on home field, also have the Motor City M factor to actually unlock right there. Now they do say right here, we are also introducing a modernized blast from EA's Football Pass known as Home Field Advantage. So yes, Home Field Advantage is a thing when it comes to head-to-head and also like play now with franchise. Again, we'll get into the Ultimate Team because I know they do discuss that in here as well. And there's a bunch of different things. I actually did already make a video going over every single team's thing here. So if you want to check that out, you guys definitely can. Do they actually showcase that in here? I don't think they actually showcase that, unfortunately, in this. But if you want to know every single team's, check out my video I made. And it does say right here as well, and just like with the different tuning sets for different modes, any game played in a neutral site environment will not be equipped with any home field advantage since there is no home team. So when you're playing the Super Bowl in franchise or in an MCS stadium on the competitive ladder, you won't have to contend with a home field advantage M factor. To quickly summarize, Game Day Momentum introduces momentum mechanics where gamers can interact with the momentum meter and based on their on-field performance can activate or deactivate M factor by swinging momentum. NFL teams playing on their own home field will have unique home field advantage, fan base, and history in both momentum and field advantage are customized to match the specific game mode you're playing. Now, the second component is Game Day Atmosphere. So this does, as you can see right here, delivers the scale, experience, and impact of big moments that can change the game and presents itself via the unique characteristics and personality of each NFL stadium. One of these unique characteristics you'll notice first is the crowd. We have brand new crowd animations and created super fan characters. To be honest with you, I don't really care all that much about this. All I really care about is what actually happens in the game. But you guys can see right here, stuff does actually change throughout the game. So through working directly with NFL teams, we've remastered our real-world crowd audio recordings and added more authentic sound elements for every stadium to hear what each stadium sounds like on game day. Not only is there more variety in the sound, but we've also pumped the volume and intensity of the crowd so you'll feel the key moments of the game. For example, a loud crowd might make it tougher for your quarterback to hear a call or make an audible at the line. The sidelines will also react to the action on the field. You'll see players and coaches on the sideline react to the movement of the game, pump with the crowd, and sometimes interact with the players on the field. In addition to M factors brought on by momentum, Game Day Atmosphere introduces some similar environmental traits. Game Day conditions are persistent modifications to gameplay that will impact both teams equally for the entire game. These conditions aren't driven at all by momentum, but instead by the environment. The weather, quality of the turf, rivalry games, and even the fan base are used to determine game day conditions, which can be either beneficial or detrimental to both teams. Some examples of these are increased ball flight and high altitude like Denver, or decreased change of direction ratings for all players on the field when playing on slippery surfaces. And finally, we have the broadcast package, which just brings in cutscenes, camera angles, stuff like that. Some next-gen stats right there, so kind of cool. To summarize Game Day Atmosphere, the crowd will be a factor in gameplay. Sideline players and staff will react on the field momentum of the game. All new game day conditions bring unique environment game modifiers to each game that can help or hinder both teams, and new presentation package. Now, we've also got next-gen star-driven AI. So for individual AI players, next-gen stats are now used to drive deeper player tendencies. Based on the data we have for each player, certain thresholds are in place that will automatically assign certain player traits that drive specific behaviors, such as a QB decision-making while under pressure, QB passing aggressiveness and tight window throws, QB pass success on the run, and even ball carrier tendencies around breaking and / or evading tackles. To lay down a solid foundation for these stat-driven behaviors, we also did a lot of work to improve our core foundational AI. You'll see those improvements in ball carrier, open field pathfinding, QB read progression, QB scramble logic, and more awareness of star teammates and superstar X Factor abilities, so that AI players will utilize their abilities and mismatches just as you do. That's not all. Both in Play Now and in Franchise, these player tendencies will evolve all season long as stats change and gameplays evolve. So for an example, playing against, say, the Steelers, who lead the league in blitzing, will challenge your pocket presence on offense. Playing against a run-heavy team like the Ravens will be a completely different experience than playing against the pass-heavy Bills. Basically, they're really trying to make the AIs play like that specific team, but actually make them a little bit better and make it a little bit different every single time you guys are playing a new game versus an AI. So, kind of cool stuff. Now let's get into the actual core gameplay improvements. So, player movement. One of the biggest areas of emphasis in Madden 21 was route data, and we've added a bunch of new play-specific routes to Madden 22. In addition to more routes, receivers will be using signature cuts and releases off the line to gain space against the press and deliver more control when turning up the field after a catch or near the sideline for both user-controlled and AI-controlled receivers. For more explosive player movement, you'll see ball carriers and defenders alike showing maximum effort in their posture when sprinting and using new animations that explode faster through starts and cuts. You'll feel smooth and explosive control for QBs inside and outside the pocket. There's also some changes to ball carrier controls. So in Madden 22, your special moves like juke, spin, and dead leg will have variance based on the move if performed while holding down right trigger R2 versus letting go. So those variants are focused on making the length of the move shorter to get you back in control quicker, as long as you're not trying to run at top speed when starting the move. Also, tackling got a significant upgrade across the board. These upgrades include a complete refresh of the most used tackles from years past with a focus on new interactions that are more appropriate to specific situations and aim to pay off the size and strength of the players in the tackle to better respect physics and user control. So you can see there's a bunch of tackle stuff here. So like touch player down tackles, sideline tackles, you'll see defenders using the sideline to their advantage. Early hurdle tackles will intelligently fill animation gaps in tackling right when the ball carrier starts a hurdle and ensure that the tackle interaction takes place, looks, and feels appropriate for this specific situation. Concurrent gang tackles there, new improved broken tackles have a bigger impact on the game, as now have quick broken tackles that leave the ball carrier in control during the interaction. That's pretty cool. New tackling momentum logic, some pretty good stuff there with tackling. We also have some other catching stuff. So they did improve sideline catching for more accurate feet detection and added brand new sideline catch animations that are in both core Madden and also the yard. You guys will see right here, it does actually say there'll be no more rack multiplayer catches, no more contextually questionable short yardage multiplayer catches, and less slowdowns by receivers with a step or two of separation. What you will see are more single player catching scenarios. Both players are independently playing the ball or seamlessly playing the receiver with catch tackles, catch knockouts, and mid-air collisions. Specific to mid-airs, we added some functionality so that the intended outcome of the interaction will be respected on any tackle that takes place during the catch, so you don't have to rely on a specific animation to play to get the correct play outcome. And lastly, they did some tuning to improve the catch height threshold so that the big receivers will have a larger catch radius, and defenders attempting to swat the ball will have a larger range to reach the ball to knock it away. So height will definitely matter. When it comes to blocking, they're using a new momentum logic in blocking, and you'll first notice this in the pocket to respect the physics of pass rushers as they fire off into the line. You will see all new animation content when blockers engage defenders, when they are battling towards the QB, and when they ultimately attempt to shed the block to get past the blocker. This results in a more organic and dynamic formation of the pocket that you'll be aware of as the quarterback. It does say momentum of impact and run blocking as well, where we've added new blocking animations that better respect the speed and momentum direction of the defender at the time of engagement, so that moments when you feel suction or lost control as a defender are reduced, and even added more content where defenders are getting penetration of the backfield as part of the engagement. Better balance the run game. And lastly, on offense, blockers will give more clear running lanes for the ball carrier to cut through. So we'll see about all this blocking stuff here. You guys can go ahead and pause video anytime if you want to go ahead take a deeper dive into this. It does say though, lastly, AI controlled pass rushers will now have access to non-engaged speed rush moves in the edge to bring them more parity with user controlled rushers from Madden 21. These moves definitely bring more pressure to the pocket. They use a matchup formula of pass block finesse versus finesse move to both determine the defender's likelihood of attempting a speed rush as well as his chance to be successful. So here we go with some core improvements. Increased range for pass lead and pass trajectory. Decrease the effectiveness of the over-top coverage adjustment when guarding routes with cuts. Increased get-off speed of blitzing defenders so they're faster to their gaps. New impact blocks that respect player momentum. Added multiplayer scramble sack interactions. Okay, so that's interesting there. Reduced match distance on blocks from the rear and back shoulder. Retuned high throw mechanics to make it more effective. Major tuning to multiplayer catching to reduce the frequency, but also reduce warping when they are used. Improved pursuit logic to decrease the frequency of over and under pursuit tackles. Improved defender reaction time when in position to play the ball versus pass. After the whistle, teammates will now help the ball carrier up off the ground. Also, we have some more playbook stuff. So we placed a greater emphasis on our team's playbooks from the standpoints of our new tendency and gameplay features. We will likely do a more detailed blog devoted strictly to playbooks later, but here are some highlights. So all 32 NFL playbooks have been updated to reflect their real world plays up through the end of last season. For both offense and defense, we focused on making sure play call percentages and tendencies are as accurate as possible. You can see for some defensive examples based on stats from last season, the Miami Dolphins will be more aggressive in blitzing, whereas the Seahawks are a team that relies heavily on playing cover 3. For offense, the Ravens ran pistol more than any other team. The Chiefs will primarily focus on using shotgun and mixing in RPOs. We also have a bunch of new formations and 300 new plays, so gun bunch, Y flex, gun empty quads, normal Y off close, normal Y off weak, open flex weak, gun tight Y off, gun tight Y off weak, wing halfback weak, open flex close, deuce wide flex, bunch X nasty, strong jumbo, goal line look with the fullback aligned strong in the backfield, and nickel 155 double A gap. For pass coverage, it does say their focus is to improve the way pass coverage reacts and carries out assignments versus the most effective and most frequently used play calls. Our decision making was driven by the data that showed us which play calls are called the most by players and which have the highest yards per completion rate. We tested each of our defensive coverage concepts against those plays to identify issues with how we defended them in Madden 21, and they have improved them. So the top 5 pass plays we identified: dagger, verticals, PA crossers, wing pair tight end attack, and mesh spot. As we went through each play, trends started to emerge regarding why these plays were effective against our various coverage concepts. We categorized each of these trends, and we were able to get focused work done in a specific area to achieve their goals to improve coverages against those plays. So you guys can see right here, there's a lot they actually did to improve coverage. In order to help deep zone defenders in cover 2 and cover 3, they did help the backpedal and turn and run transition, proper leverage. They made improvements to the way defenders leverage receivers based on the route, vertical crossing routes. A vertical crossing route is a route that starts on one side of the field and gains depth as the receiver runs the other side. The work done with the backpedal transitions and leverage will put the defenders in a better position to make those plays. And also rallying to the flats, a significant update was made to the way our curl flat and cloud flat defenders are able to play crossing and drag routes as they come across the field. One issue they resolved is defenders were not dropping at the right angle towards their receiver, which caused me to bad position. Red zone awareness, they improved red zone awareness there, especially the deeper coverage players defending routes in the back of the end zone. Animation improvements. So it does look like, honestly, there was a decent amount of new stuff. There are new press and chuck interactions with improved selection criteria specific to cover 0, cover 1, and cover 2 man plays. Now, I will say, a lot of stuff, we got to get our hands in the game. We got to test it out. We got to really see if it is different. But a big question I've been getting for you guys is, will game day momentum work in MUT? When playing online modes such as head-to-head seasons and weekend league, home field advantage will not be enabled. Be on the lookout for more information on Madden Ultimate Team. So, we know that home field advantage does not work, but it does say game day momentum. It doesn't say that won't be in there. I do think that momentum is going to be in MUT. However, home field advantage will not be. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. I know this is probably a pretty long video, but if you did enjoy, make sure you guys drop a like in the video, and of course hit that sub button down below. A ton of Madden 22 news will be coming out very soon. Turn the notification bell on. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time.